Just having a family day at Long Beach, Washington. Having a nice beachy day. We saw a lot of sandcastles, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice if we made one that was semi-permanent? Got back from the beach. That was fun. Yeah, the beach is pretty close to us. It's only about an hour or so away, and my youngest is wanting to be a marine biologist, and he will go to the beach at any chance we get. So we decided to spend our time there. And you know, while I was there, they had a sandcastle contest. You can see it was kind of it was a little half destroyed, but that's okay. You still got the gist of it. And while I was looking at those, I was thinking, what if you could make a sandcastle and have it so that you could keep it forever, or, you know, as long as you don't step on it, kind of thing. Because, you know, that's never been done before, I'm sure, ever. But I thought, you know, with what we know and how we build houses and from different scraps and things, let's give it a shot and see if we can make a sandcastle that looks like a sandcastle that we can put in our house. Let me gather some materials first. Hang on, just a second. Almost there. Ugh. All right, I think I got stuff. Ugh. I have a lot of odds and ends and weird things, and I think we can make something maybe. Let's see what we come up with, huh? All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna build, you know, a basic looking castle. And we're gonna do it, you know, just like what they looks like in cartoons and things and movies. And make towers, maybe a center, and some little roofs. I have these egg cartons here that might be perfect little rooftops, so I think I'm gonna try cutting those out. And let's just kind of do a rough draft here. I'm gonna start with a base, kind of. And we'll get to cutting. Like most buildings, you gotta just kind of build the foundation first, and then you do the finicky little pieces later. But once you got your foundation done, which sometimes is the hardest part, ta-da. I think I want the middle to be taller. Be careful doing things like this. There's the middle. Make some towers. Something like that. What do you think? Now you gotta imagine this is gonna be made out of sand. supposedly. So we don't want to do super detailed because, you know, think about when you make a sandcastle. I mean, there's some people that can make a lot of details. I'll cut this egg carton up. Or try to. Really just want the little shapes. Something like that anyway. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cardboard top for this guy. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a circle. Okay, so find something that's circle-like, right? See if this is going to be big enough. Get my circle shape. Worst case, if it's not big enough, we'll just make another one. We got lots of cardboard, and I'm just going to cut a slice out of it. And then you go like that. So the theory, oh, that's way too small. We gotta go. I mean, I could make a stout little thing, but I want a little more. So let's find something bigger. All right, found this lid, and we'll try this out this time. You know, a lot of times this is just trial and error. And the nice thing about making it out of just paper scraps and things, if you mess up, it's not a big deal. I got cardboard everywhere. Make a boop. And there we go. That's better. What's nice is we can just wind it as tight as we want. It just makes it a little bit taller. I want it to be about the same size as the can itself. So right about there. Around there. And put a little hat on it, just like that. I'm gonna trim it up. Get some better tape, I think. Okay, so let's get it to the place where we were. A little more. Take the sucker down. There we go. That's what we want. Try to make it as smooth. So when you're building a sandcastle, you got to think about when you're building a solid object out of sand, it doesn't have, you can't, well, you can, the really good people can, but you can't do like ridges and things like that, right? It's pretty smooth and solid. That's what you're building with your hand. So that's what you kind of have to think about when building this thing. I thought I had masking tape, but I'm gonna have to use this. We'll see if it sticks pretty good. I just gotta get a good foundation going here. Because I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is once I get this all taped together is I'm gonna use a paper mache method and just make my little windows and doors. Again, we're not gonna get super detailed and fancy, but we want the idea that you built this, you know, out of sand, wet sand with your hands, right? So we're just gonna tape the heck out of this thing. I might do a primer paint job on it before I do the paper mache, just so that it has something else to stick to. Probably a matte paint of some sort. I'm just gonna take all the little, anything that's sticking out off. Doesn't look like much now, but it will. And as I'm going through this, I might do these pieces individually first and then stick them together maybe. Just so I can get nooks and crannies. I could have used the same method for the tops of these, but I had these egg cartons that I kind of wanted to use up. We do have chickens, and but I don't like these plastic containers. People give us, you know, because we give away our eggs, and they give back some egg cartons, which is really nice. But these plastic ones, it just makes the eggs sweat too much. It's just not, it doesn't seem very sanitary, I guess. So I recycle them in another way. So it's gonna go something like this. What you think? I know, it looks like a little kid project right now. I mean, it could be. We'll fancy it up. It's gonna be one of those home improvements. Your house looked like this before, but you will be amazed about what it will look like later. I'm just taping the living daylights out of it. I don't want those. Once I get lots of layers going, it's not going to pop off, but I don't want it to fall off the first step. And this is not the most ideal tape to work with, but it's what I got. And as per usual, when I get about halfway through the project, I will find the tape that I should have used, but that's okay. Something like that. And we'll make a little door, maybe some little windows, and then we'll try to do our sand effect. But I think I'm gonna do a primer on this. Now, since it's like over 100 degrees outside and even hotter up in the craft barn, I think I'm going to do this next part in the house. We're going to be making some basic paper mache, so need a good bowl that you don't care that gets messed up, some newspaper, just take it from the grocery store and shred it to pieces. Once you get a nice pile of little shreds, we're going to get our bowl and put some water and some glue. Just kind of a 2 to 1. 2 parts water, 1 part glue would probably be plenty. Now, when I used to do this, I would put water and then I would put some flour until you make kind of a paste. And then put your strips of newspaper in there. But we want this to last a little while and it will disintegrate and animals and critters might get to it. So we're going to use good old school glue and some water. Once you let it soak for a little bit and make sure all your little bits and pieces are coated in your water glue mixture, we're just going to start covering up our pieces. Alright, layer 1 complete. This is bringing me back to the good old school project days. Now, what I want to do is make my newspaper even more paste-like so that we can sculpt with it. And to do that, we're going to have to make all this much, much smaller. So we could do it by hand, but that will take forever. But what I'm going to do is just put it in the blender. And yummy! You get this yummy porridge looking paste. Don't eat it, you'll be very disappointed. But it's nice and goopy. It's a little bit too wet, but the water will slowly seep out. But it's really nice to sculpt with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover all my pieces, and then I'm also going to start sculpting doors and windows. Because when you make a sandcastle, it's all one solid piece. You can't make edges or sharp edges like paper. You have to make it one solid piece. And this is probably the best way I thought of. And then you get kind of a muddy looking castle. And we're going to try to get a better shape for the top. So I'm just using a funnel. I tried it on the little pieces, but it just took all the paper off. So later on I'm going to hand sculpt the littler ones. See how it pulls it? So you just kind of have to fix it, but it gives you the general shape. And now, since it's 1,000,000 degrees outside, we're just going to set it outside on our porch to dry. All right, so once we get our castle done, we have to do something that's very important. Make it sandy. Make it look like a sand castle, huh? So we got a few things. I got like a textured paint. We'll do some experiments. I got actual sand that I may or may not have scooped from the beach that we were just at. And we have sandpaper, which I was thinking, that might work with maybe like a wallpapering effect. We'll see which one works out best here. All right, so let's do, now our sand is a little bit like really kind of a cementy gray color. And I dried this out a lot, but it's very fine. So we'll see. It might be easy to apply to our castle though. This one is kind of like a really coarse texture. This could be cool, and it would be very easy to apply too. This one I'm a little skeptical on. Skeptical, can you say it? But it's the right texture. It's just the application might be difficult. So we'll see about that. The first one, we'll do, this is our control paper here. Let's try the sand first, the easy one. So what we'll do is be smart about this because this is going to get all over the place. So I'm going to set down something here to catch all this loose sand. And we'll try just gluing all the glue on here and pouring sand on. Kind of like when you do glitter, I suppose. But since this is just an experiment, we'll just do a little piece. We don't need to do a lot. And see if we get the texture we want. It's good to test this first before applying it to your project and then totally possibly ruining it. So I'm gonna try just a section. That's plenty. And I think I have a paintbrush. Yeah. I'm gonna try making it smooth-ish. I always get overzealous with glue, no matter what I do. And we'll just dump the sand on, like so. This is the one that I'm hoping the most that it'll work. I'm wondering. I'm gonna let that dry completely. It already looks like just wet, clumpy sand, so we'll let that dry and see what happens. Our next one is let's see here. This is 230 sandpaper, and it's got a little grip to it. I have a finer one, but I don't think it would pick up how. So I thought it needed just a little bit more coarseness. This is a 220. This is a little bit more coarse, a little bit more coarse. And let's see if it'll even take some paint. I'm really not sure what color I'm gonna do the castle ultimately, because the real sand is kind of this gray color, but I kind of want, the fantasy sand, the sand that you see in, cartoons and everything. It's kind of a sand color, I guess. This one's called Flesh Tan, and it's a really pale beige color. We'll pour some out, and we'll just do a section and see how it dries. Now the first thing I notice is the texture kind of goes away, but I'll do a little section here and we'll see what it looks like once it dries. And it picks up every little brush hair too, because it is sandpaper, I guess. All right, that's experiment 2. Our last one, I'm going to put some of this texture paint. It's just basically paint that has a sand in it. So it's kind of like spray on sandpaper, I guess. I use this a lot for like when I want to do stucco paint and things like that. So we'll give it a go. I've had this for a while, so hopefully it's not too clogged up. And let's see how this turns out. There it goes. Oh, you might not even have to paint it. This might be a good one. Let's let that dry and see how it turns out. So far, and it hasn't completely dried yet, but the sand, I think it's hard to say just yet. We're gonna let time go by. And this texture, I'm leaning towards this one. This one's kind of cool. It's got the right grittiness. I'm not gonna touch it because it's gonna smear all over. But it almost has the right color too. I'm going to rule this out right away because I'm thinking about it. This is going to be really difficult to work with. If I had like a square space maybe, or a square project, that would probably work, but this I think would be far too difficult. So I think it's down to these two, and we're going to just let this dry and see how it turns out. Okay, finally dried. That put it outside in the heat. It's a lot cooler now. That's why I'm back up in the craft barn. It was 103. Oh my gosh. Today it's in the 80s, and weirdly enough, that seems really nice. Right now it's in about the 60s, so nice and cool. We got our, now it kind of looks like a mud castle, but that's okay. I added some details. I let it dry for a little bit that first time around, and then I added more details, just added on top of it, and it's pretty dry. I added some window and a door, and then a little bit of a rim where the roofs are. So what I think I'm gonna do, I mean, it looks kind of cool this way, but we want it less mud and more sand looking, right? So I think I'm gonna get some glue, get a cup, I have a jar of sand, and it's nice and dry from the beach. And I think, it's almost the same color, but it's got like the texture, and it's got a little bit of sparkle to it. And I kind of want that to come up more than this gloopy glob mess looking. So let's see if we can accomplish this. We're making this up as we go, and so far, at least we got a castle, right? So let's see what we can do. Hi. Oh, somebody's spying on me from above. All right, so the goal is to get this onto this. How we're gonna do that, I don't know. I think we're gonna paint some glue on here and see how well it sticks. So I'm gonna put some glue in a cup that I have here, make life a little easier. I thought about adding the sand to the glue, putting I don't know, let's see. Let's see how well this sticks. Plus this, if anything, this will seal it too. Because it is just paper and glue, right? The old paper mache, at least what I used to do, is it was flour and water. And that does not last very long after a while. Let me get this top turret going. Let's see if this will work. If it does, we're in business. Okay, let's see. I could put something down, but that's okay. Be smart about this because this is going to get all over the place. So I'm going to set down something here to catch all this loose sand. You know what? I think this is going to work. I think I'll have to do a few layers, but I think it's getting it's hard to see here, but I think I'm getting the effect I want. Well, I'm going to try to do this all over, and we'll see how this goes. I'm going to go like this first. Not too shabby. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a clear coat on it, and as I spray it, I'm going to sprinkle more sand, build another layer on there. But it's looking more sandcastle-y, right? Let's give that a try. Oh my gosh, that was the ticket. So what I did is I sprayed it with clear, sprinkled it, went side by side by side, put another layer on it, and then I sprayed over the sand, put another layer, and look at that. It actually looks like a sandcastle. Ah! Stinks. Make sure you do, if you're doing spraying, I have a very big area here, but make sure you do it outside because, ugh, it's stinky, the spray paint. Now, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glop my leftover paint or glue around here because, you know, this is the beach and I have some left over. So I'm just gonna glop it around. Kind of like when I'm making static grass. Ooh. And this glue dries clear anyway, so it doesn't matter. If you get it on your sand, it's okay. Oop, I'm missing. This is just regular white glue, so no big deal. It peels off of everything. I'm gonna glop it around. Try to get all the way to the edge. Make a complete mess. This probably would be better for the actual glue bottle. That's okay. We like making messes, right? want to get it as close as possible to the castle because, you know, when you make a sandcastle on the beach, you're doing it literally on the sand, right? So you want it to look like you built it from the sand up. That's the theory anyway. I almost used that whole jar of sand. We're just going to be very generous all the way around. We want the base to blend in with the castle. And we're going to let this dry completely. I'll touch up any spots I missed. Oh yeah, see? I used it. But there's a lot on the outside too. It's really sticky on the bottom. But look at that! I think we're good. Now, I'm gonna let that dry. I bought a whole thing of little shells that will stick from here and there, but I'm gonna let this dry first because, oh, yeah, it's hardened from the clear spray. So I'm hoping it's not like a glitter bomb where it just falls off and goes everywhere when you put it anywhere, especially if you want to put it in your house or something. But we'll seal it again, especially the bottom part where I just glued, and put some pretty shells on it, and we're calling this good. Ta-da! All right, now we'll add some details. Got this box of goodies, and we'll just decorate some of it. Got a lot of shells to work with if I don't drop them all. And let's glue them on. It got hot, so I took my sweater off. Remember when I was saying it was cooling down? Well, now it's heating back up again. It's done. So we got ourselves a sandcastle. That's not really made out of sand, but made out of paper and cardboard and odds and ends. We stole some sand from the beach, but for the most part, it is a solid piece. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. This was a fun experiment. I mean, you could go crazy on this. You could get as fancy as you wanted to be. I kept it very simple, very childlike, something that you would actually do on the beach if you had a chance. And but the concept, you can go crazy. It's just cardboard base, paper mache, build it up, and then cover it in sand. How easy is that? I think it turned out great, and it was fun. Now I have a new skill. I can make sandcastles without being on the beach. So if you like this, definitely give me a like. I would love that. Thank you so much for all your support and everything. And if you haven't already, if you can hit that little subscribe button, be awesome. It keeps me going and gets me in the recommended list more often. And also leave a comment. What do you think? Should we do more of these kind of experiments? Should we do another kit? Should we do a completely different craft? Leave a comment below and let me know. And I will leave you with some serene beach noises. Bye-bye.